So we could take it way back. When my father was 16 years old, he ran away from home with my mother, and they lived in a school bus in the woods where they had their first child. Dad had a hot rod shop, and he was doing a lot of drag racing, building hot rods for other people, and then eventually transitioned into working on diesel pickups, which, again, I'm trying to keep it the short story. Then he transitioned into big semis. And then in 1989, he had a guy come to him and say, "Hey man, you're really good at, putting things together and assembling. Have you ever heard of a glider kit? I'd like you to build me these two Western Stars." And so, that was someone came to him with the idea. And so we were the largest glider producer in the United States. We built upwards of 3,000 glider kits a year.
The #1 gliders in America are built by Fitzgerald Glider Kits. Get better fuel economy, more horsepower, and less downtime. Plus, our trucks are backed by a full manufacturer's warranty. Start saving money today in a Fitzgerald Glider Kit.
The government, they put basically a quantity restriction on it, and that quantity restriction was around 300 units a year. So we played that out for a couple of years until we could make our diversification move, which was into new trucks. So now we are selling brand new Peterbilts. We have 5 Peterbilt dealership locations, 3 in Alabama, 2 in Virginia. And then we're currently opening another one up in Alabama. So to be very specific about that question, we actually don't build any glider kits anymore.
What's going on with the truckers? Welcome to the Asian My Show. So I flew all the way here from Miami for the day to hang out with Tommy Fitzgerald. How you doing, sir?
Doing pretty good. How about yourself?
Man, that smile, man, is contagious. You're always smiling, brother. I'm just being honest. You're one of the most humble dudes I've met, and it seems like you have good people surrounded around you. So.
Oh yeah, well that's what it's all about, right? Yeah, you gotta have good people around you all the time.
That's it, brother. And so first question off the air. So we're done with this, so people know. People are always when they first think of Fitzgerald, they think of glider kits.
Yep.
So with that, where is the direction, and where is Fitzgerald now, and what are you guys doing?
I can completely relate with that because I get that question about 19 times a day. My entire life, the question that haunted my dreams was what is a glider kit? Because basically that's what my job was for 10 years. I had to market and explain to everybody what a glider kit was. And now that we've transitioned from the gliders to the new trucks, now it's, hey, what's up with glider kits? And so now I'm explaining why we don't do that anymore. But the biggest thing was, we were the largest glider producer in the United States. We built upwards of 3,000 glider kits a year. The government, they put basically a quantity restriction on it, and that quantity restriction was around 300 units a year. So we played that out for a couple of years until we could make our diversification move, which was into new trucks. So now we are selling brand new Peterbilts. We have 5 Peterbilt dealership locations, 3 in Alabama, 2 in Virginia. And then we're currently opening another one up in Alabama. So to be very specific about that question, we actually don't build any glider kits anymore. We are completely done. Even with the EPA, there was a full prohibition in 2021. So there's actually no more people building glider kits anymore.
At all. So
No,
if you're going to, okay, so this is great because I live out in Miami, and some people are like, oh, I'm going to a shop and getting a glider kit done.
Yeah, so the way you can do it, so the OEs, I think, will still sell you a package if you have a truck that is a new emissions truck that you just crashed. They'll sell you a replacement package. I don't even know that they like to call it a glider anymore, just because the persona and the reputation that a glider had, right?
To define a glider in 3 words so that the people that aren't we hear glider thrown around a lot,
Oh, yeah.
and some watching this don't quite know the true definition of a glider.
Okay, man, I've got this pitch down.
Let's go. Finally, Tommy, let's get it.
All right, so what a glider kit was, a glider was a truck from the OE that you could order without an engine and without a transmission. You had the option to order it without rear ends. And what we did is we specialized in putting a 60 Series Detroit in those trucks with a used engine, used transmission, and used running gear. Basically, again, that was our bread and butter for the longest time. We don't do that anymore. Right now, we sell brand new trucks. We have diversified into 3 different businesses. We have Fitzgerald Peterbilt, which is our new truck dealerships. We have Fitzgerald Collision and Repair, which basically is like my brother's business. So back in the previous business, my brother was in charge of all manufacturing. So Robert was kind of in the shop with my Uncle Ricky and my cousins, Adam and Josh. And my team, what we all did was sales and marketing. So, my natural transition was to Fitzgerald Peterbilt, which is what I'm doing now. Again, I've got 5 stores. New truck sales is 100% what I focus on. My brother's natural transition was Fitzgerald Collision and Repair because, he's really good at that manufacturing mentality. So what he did is he took collision and turned it into a manufacturing style process where you've got one team that does disassembly, one team that does, like the interior, pulling the interior out of a truck. You got one team that does paint prep and sprays, and then you got the rebuild teams that put it all back together. Robert can take a collision that would typically take 35 to 50 days and turn it in like 7 days.
There's so much value here right now, Tommy. So first off, my mom watches me on YouTube. So for the ones plus one that watches the show, if they're ever having any issues, collision problems, things like that,
yep.
Is that something that they can bring to your resource?
So the collision center specifically specializes on Freightliner and Peterbilt.
There it is.
Yeah. So.
Oh, that's great, brother. So I'm not asking for a discount. I'm not asking for this, but all you mother truckers out there, Tommy is a really great guy. I mean, off camera, on camera. I observe you when you're talking to kids. I observe you talking to everybody just to see what kind of guy this guy really is. And, he really is great. So if you guys have a Freightliner Peterbilt, it looks like it's in some trouble. Hey, we might have a resource, a phone number that I can put in the descriptions.
Absolutely.
For you guys.
I can get all that for you for sure.
No, thank you. And then what you were throwing around, 5 dealerships going on 6, correct?
Yeah, 5 dealerships going on 6. Business we have is actually a YouTube channel, so you guys can check it out. That's Semi-Casual Truck Show. That's me and Brian Burke, who was my previous marketing manager for the glider company. He's now into the semi-casual business with me, and what we do is we take brand new Peterbilts from our dealerships. We deck them out top to bottom. We put it all on the show.
This video is compiled of like 5 days of some super hard work.
It's super cool, super interesting, a lot of really cool content. So if you guys are just browsing around YouTube and you want to check something else out, the Semi-Casual Truck Show, it's got a lot of really cool stuff.
You see how I smoothed and put that in there? Because I already knew. We have to be organic with this. Mother Truckers, definitely, I'm going to put the links down. I'm going to put a couple clips of their videos. They're amazing people. And here's the thing. I'm not here to put all your business out there, but the 6 dealerships, you have ownership in these dealerships.
Oh yeah, no. So it's broken up. So there was a lot of people. The glider kit was a huge business, and there was a lot of people. That went over from that business to the Fitzgerald Peterbilt or to the Fitzgerald Collision, or the semi-casual. Like me and the marketing manager are doing that. So I have 4 partners in total now in the Peterbilt business, and so I'm the largest majority shareholder, but I've got partners over there.
So what you're trying to tell me, Tommy, is even though I have some friends in the Peterbilt dealership business as well, if any of y'all are looking in the locations, and shout out those locations one more time.
Yeah, so we got Montgomery, Alabama, Birmingham, Alabama, Huntsville, Alabama, soon to be Gadsden, Alabama, and then we've got Bristol, Virginia, and Fancy Gap, Virginia.
And I'm telling you, people, if you just want honesty, because when you're looking at buying a new truck, people hear the word salesperson, people hear the word dealership, and it doesn't usually roll off the tongue easy.
Yeah.
But Tommy's a really great guy, and so I'm telling you all, if you're looking for a Peterbilt, something like that, and you're in those locations, definitely, us mother truckers have an owner that can actually, talk to you.
Yeah.
And hang out and make you feel comfortable with your purchase, because it might be the biggest purchase you ever do.
And that's something that a lot of people underestimate. Peterbilt, they're really good at the fleet style truck, but their reputation is owner operators, right? And so that's something that we was able to carry over from the glider business. Even selling that many trucks, 3,000 trucks a year, our largest customer was still less than 0.5% of our total sales.
Wow.
So our business model has always thrived on basically small fleets that are 50 trucks or less. The guy who has 10 trucks or less, and he's just looking to make that one purchase. You take a guy who's running 10 trucks and he purchases another truck, that's a 10% growth. A lot of people don't understand, like, buying one more truck, that's a big deal, right? Or especially a guy who's like an owner operator and he's buying another, he just doubled the size of his business, right? That's huge. That's a huge step for those guys.
So it gets
right?
scary.
It can be really scary, and that's why I train my salespeople on transparency. And we got a couple. I won't lie, we got a couple guys that are a little salesy, but other than that, the whole business is pretty organic. And I'll straight up tell a guy, like, hey man, this is what we're buying the truck from Peterbilt for. This is what I'm going to make on you.
Transparency.
Honestly,
that's all people want.
There's nothing that makes me feel better when I go buy a new pickup truck and the guy's like, hey man, can I mark it up $2,500 or $3,000? Is that cool with you, right? And I know the game, right? You have to make money to exist, right? Profit's not a dirty word. So as long as you can just talk to a guy and say, hey man, this is why I'm here. I'd love to talk to you about it. And then, again, just spew the numbers out there. 99% of people buying something out there are reasonable people. They know what they do for business is for profit, and what I do for business is for profit, right? It's
Yes.
not a dirty word. So just talk about it, right? Just have a transparent conversation.
I love it. It's one of those things, and we're not here to sell you on this, but what's really going to sell people on this, honestly, is I always truly think people love to know people's backstory, how things kind of started. Yep. We're actually in a location where things kind of started.
Yeah. So this was our second expansion location. We had a facility in Byrdstown, Tennessee. It was actually Pall Mall. It doesn't even register on a map. So we'll call it Byrdstown.
I'm going to stop you real quick, and this, people always think that when they see established businesses, they think that there was $400 million given to you, Tommy, right?
Yeah, that's the assumption.
That's always the assumption. So
yeah.
let's we don't have to get into your personal too much, but let's break it down. What type of childhood, how was it for you growing up, really?
Well, so we could take it way back. When my father was 16 years old, he ran away from home with my mother, and they lived in a school bus in the woods where they had their first child, which is my oldest sister.
School bus?
A school bus in the woods.
So wait, no $400 million stuff?
No electricity, no water. And so that wasn't how I grew up. To be 100% honest, my dad just, he busted his tail. And God love him. That's why I'm in the position I'm in, right? So
humble beginnings.
Yeah, right. So essentially, what happened is Dad had a hot rod shop, and he was doing a lot of drag racing, building hot rods for other people, and then eventually transitioned into working on diesel pickups. Which again, I'm trying to keep it the short story. Then he transitioned into big semis, and then in 1989, he had a guy come to him and say, "Hey, man, you're really good at putting things together and assembling. Have you ever heard of a glider kit? I'd like you to build me these two Western Stars." And so, that was someone came to him with the idea. And so,
ain't that something, brother?
It is, And
that's cool, man.
And so I was born in 87. This guy come to Dad with the idea about gliders in 89. And then it just kind of, it got a little bigger and a little bigger and a little bigger. I officially entered the business when I was about 15, 16. And I started selling trucks.
Did you know this is what you want? Because this is where I give you your real props. No bullshit. Most kids, that's when they start ruining the business, right? Dad works extremely hard,
right?
And then kids just ruin the business. What was your grind? What was your survival that made you say, you know what, I want to work just as hard, or make my parents proud?
I'm gonna have to give a lot of credit to my older brother. I mean, to be 100% honest, I was a bit of a shithead whenever I was like 15, 16 years old.
We all are, bro.
I was getting into the business, and I was experiencing a little bit of success, and I was making like $400 a week. So I was the man.
Of course.
But anyway, so my brother, he kept me level headed, and he's always been the hardest working guy I've ever known. Right. And so, he gets that from my dad. He started in the business when he was like 9. You know what I mean? My dad was out working in the shop.
How much older is your older brother?
So he's 5 years older than me.
Oh, he's like my brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just look up to them. It's just what
right?
it is.
It's just one of those things. So he was like, Robert was always in the shop following Dad around. Like, you couldn't keep him out of the shop, right? So Dad's out there like grinding it out at 1 a.m. Robert goes down, and he's like 12 years old trying to turn wrenches with him. And like, Dad's like, hey man, you need to get back in the house. And Robert just was having no part of it. And so, I mean, my brother like, he's an incredibly smart dude, but his grades and school struggled because he was always working in the shop. That's all he wanted to do. He knew it's what he wanted to do. So Robert dropped out of high school when he was like 16, and that's what he did. He just went to work for my dad, and I always admired his work ethic. And so, like, while I was getting into truck sales, there was some parts of the business that was like really exhausting, and Robert was like, hey man, you just it's part of it, you gotta grind it out type thing. And so so the work ethic that I have today, if it's any good, it's all attributed to probably my older brother.
Hey, he's gonna watch this and be like, you asshole. Why did you even try to do this to me? You know what I mean? So no, I feel like people are getting to know a little bit of the real you, and to know a little bit of how it kind of started. I always think that's important to me because, to be honest, as a truck driver myself, I care how the foundation of a business is. I will drive 1,000 miles out of the way to buy something from someone that I care about and that I love versus someone that's right next to me that hasn't treated me well.
That's the thing about this industry. It's that there's a lot of people like that in this industry because, I mean, these trucks go all over the country. They don't just stay within a 40-mile radius. So, and on top of that, all these guys know each other too. So, I mean, you can create a bad sales experience and the word's going to get around, right? So you gotta be good to these guys. And that's one of those things that, again, my brother and my father taught me. It was like, you gotta give the A+ service, and then the loyalty comes with that.
Hey, I think we got enough backstory, so maybe a little tour, brother.
Absolutely, yeah. So again, this facility was the second expansion. We had our facility in Palm Mall, Tennessee. Whenever we built this, what's really cool about it is me and my brother actually came up and we worked on this together. We hung a lot of the drywalls and installed a lot
of memories when you walk in, huh?
Yeah, a lot of the electrical outlets and stuff like that. But yeah, again, this was built in 2005. We rocked this facility for a long time until we maybe outgrew it a little bit in close to 2012. That's when we started getting into those higher numbers of those trucks, and so that's when we expanded into our Byrdstown, Tennessee facility, which is quite a bit larger than this one.
Well, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
So, as we're looking, let's do a walk around. What do we have going on today, brother?
Yeah, so this is the semi-casual truck show. We try to have this, at least once a year, once every 2 years. There's a lot going on here. This is all of our, show truck customers, all of our guys that we've been doing business with for years and years. And honestly, just a lot of really cool stuff going on,
great,
right?
That's amazing. And then I see a garage over here. What we got going on over here? We're just walking around.
Yeah.
We're showing,
Yeah, so we do some service work up here. Fitzgerald Truck Parts Online has a warehouse on the back side of the property up here. And then, of course, my younger brother, very similar to me, entrepreneur, he's got Fitzgerald Performance Parts. That's the building right over there.
That's the younger brother.
Yeah, that's my younger brother. So if you want your truck all tricked out, he's actually got his truck sitting right around the corner here.
I tell you, let's go. We gotta show him some shine. Come on, brother.
Let's go
we're hanging out today.
So, it's a pickup truck though. He went a different route.
I saw him. He almost ran me over.
Oh,
yeah. No, he didn't run me over.
He's not my brother.
He's not my brother. Who did that to you? No, that's great, brother. You know, it's one of those things. While we're walking, it's like for the young hustlers out there, for the young go-getters, man. Any tips and advice? Because honestly, I am so impressed with you and your family, brother. I mean, anything for the ones watching this from home. Like, I want it so bad, but I just don't know what to do or the ideology behind it.
Yeah, so I mean, I would forward just the message that came from my dad. Just stay after it, right? You know what I mean? Like, it's if something's not paying out today, it will, right? People will eventually learn about the hustle, right? And then they come for it eventually. So if, you know, don't get discouraged. Don't let life get you down. If something bad's happening, just power through it, and then, you know, just keep doing what you're doing. That's the number one thing. Just keep on it.
Now,
right?
I feel like I got some motivation myself. You know, I appreciate that. So look at this. How old is your little brother?
My little brother is 22.
22 years old.
Yeah.
And he's making things happen, man.
He is. You know, and honestly, it's crazy because, like, you see people that are like, that remind you of someone, but like, I've never seen someone hustle so much like my dad as Blake does. Like, he's that guy.
That is amazing.
He's always just trying to make a deal, sell somebody something. Like, even me, like, we'll go to family dinners, and he's like, and I'm like, man, I really like the wheels on your truck. And he's like, well, they're for sale. Everything's for sale.
Everything. I'm selling everything but my girlfriend.
So it's like, yeah, he's just always hustling. I love it. Yeah.
Look, I gotta give him. He's a hustler. So Fitzgerald Performance, FP baby, FP. That's cool, man. You know, overall, it's I appreciate just the interview, brother. You know,
absolutely.
You know, we got a chance to talk off camera.
Yep.
But it's just one of those things where sometimes people don't get the behind the scenes of that we are all real people.
Oh yeah, I mean, people are always doing, like, and that's another one of those things that my dad's always said is people like doing business with people. They don't like doing business with, like, just a company. You know, it's not, if they feel like your business means something to them instead of just being a number, right? Then like, it means something to me when I go buy something and I feel like I bought it off a person.
I love
right?
it. I love it, man. I appreciate that. You know, the last hookup I can give you, I think, is out of all the trucks that are here, which ones, because you're in the custom building, the Peterbilt dealership game now.
I am.
And the semi-casual YouTube channel, which I'm going to send all my followers, so I'm hoping that does something, you know.
I hope so. That'd be cool, right? I need more followers.
No, you deserve it, brother, because on the professional end, people are always really quiet, and you don't have a problem with giving away the secret sauce. Like, there is no secret sauce.
There's no secret sauce. We'll show you in the videos what we're doing. I mean, there's not anything we're doing that, like, nobody else hasn't done before. You know, I won't call us the most original people in the world, but I would definitely say, like,
let's go walk around some of the builds.
It's a lot of fun.
We're at your show, but which trucks have you done? Have you put your hands on yourself, Tommy?
Well, I mean, the one right in front of us. So this is Bill Rethwish. Bill's one of our customers. He came in and bought 10 trucks that were kind of similar to this all at once. You know, we put the stripe job on it, ordered this truck from the factory for him. They took it back and did a lot of stuff, but like this truck build is on our channel if you guys want to check this out.
Check them out. Check them out. Wow. That's incredible, man.
So then we'll move from Rethwish. We got over here. This is Bottomley Transportation. This is one of the ones that we just got done building.
And you know, Mitchell's a good friend of mine as well, so he's a good dude. He's a good dude. He wanted me to shout out his truck show that he has going on.
Yeah, honestly, it's going to be so cool. He's got some really good ideas. I wish I could say it online, but I don't know if he's like fully approved it yet or not.
Yeah. All right, mother trucker. So this whole time, Brian and Tommy have been talking about this beautiful truck without the owner here.
Yeah.
And this man, if you don't remember, is very kind man. Mitchell, off camera, he's a sweet man, and he just wants to help drivers, and he loves drivers because he is a driver. You know, so what do we got going on? I know we're at the semi-casual show, but what do we have going on soon, sir?
Well, we're going to have a show at our place in Mount Airy, North Carolina, October the 2nd, 1st and 2nd. And all the donations goes to the Bender's Children's Hospital and Baptist Hospital in Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
And honest, I hate to get personal, but why did you want to do this?
We've always tried to, my family has tried to do schools or something to do with children. So we decided to do this with kids at Bender's Children. I had a kid one time when he was 2 years old down there in the hospital for 2 weeks. And I know what it's like seeing kids down there and got no time to live. Some of them don't. So I want to try to find help. I want to try to help make somebody live a little longer.
I tell you. So all you mother truckers out there, you know, if you missed a lot of shows this year and you want to come down to support a really great organization and good people behind it,
This is a big thing if you're coming to a show. I've never seen a truck show that has a flyer that says outbound loads available. What truck show can you go to get loaded on your way home?
That's right. We're going to try to load every one of them.
so you're gonna go to the show and you're gonna make money leaving
Yeah.
the show.
We're going to try to make it
Mitchell,
happen, yes.
look at that, man. I've
That's
never.
I didn't know that was like a confirmed thing. That's what I was talking about earlier. I was
That
like,
is genius.
Isn't this the best idea ever?
It's awesome.
Like,
Come and
what's
get-
the deal? You've got to have a
come and
dry
leave with
van
money.
or a
yeah,
reefer,
come and
right?
hang out,
Dry
have a
van or
good
reefer.
time. Yeah.
Dry van or reefer, and there's a good chance they'll find you a load going wherever you
Yeah, we'll
want
have
to.
a load going out either Sunday morning or by Monday morning, no later. Everybody be loaded and gone.
I tell you, I appreciate you all for what you all do. Thank you.
Well, I
That's
want to
it.
appreciate these boys. These are the ones that made all this happen.
Look at that.
Without having these guys, this wouldn't even happen today. So.
It's been the whole team.
I tell you.
Hey, we couldn't have done it if it wasn't for this guy. We wouldn't have this crazy truck either.
Listen, both of these two guys worked hard. I didn't do none of the work. They've done all the works in the brains.
I tell
We
you.
are the music makers, and we are the dreamers of dreams.